So these first few steps are pretty easy. We're just going to start the worksheet for the merchandising business, and we're starting out with our trial balance. So this is going to be an end of the year worksheet. To finish up our year-end numbers, we're going to start with trial balance. Then we're going to enter our adjustments and our final counts on inventory of different things, some write-downs, and then we're going to end up bringing everything over here to the end balance for our final numbers for the year on this one. So this first column is just going to be our trial balance. So basically, your rough draft. So I'm on page 414 of the book. So what we're going to do is we're going to just journalize our account balances, what line they go on our worksheet. So the first one we've got is accounts receivable, and if you look back at just like about everything else, it has an example in the book showing you which columns different things go in. So our first one, line 3, our accounts receivable, our account balance. So that's going to go on line 3. So you see there's even a blank space for it. So accounts receivable. That's going to go in our debit column. And that's $15,485.25. $15,485.25. Remember, if you don't catch that, or if it's hard to see, it's right here in the book. So we're going to line 13, our accounts payable, 18,000. So we'll go down here. Yeah, line 13. My glass is a little blurry. Line 13, accounts payable. So if our receivable accounts went to the debit column, remember those in the payable, they're both opposites. So our accounts payable in our credit column. So 18,482.28. For accounts payable. Yeah, I wish this document camera picked up color better. I could have a fine point colored pen or pencil, but it doesn't, so I don't even bother. So our accounts payable, so then we go to our next one. So we've got sales on line 29. Big number on that one, 845,000. So 29's on the second sheet. Sales, and I'm going to see if it shows in the book where sales went for you. So when you do that on your own, you can see it. I'm not seeing it on that list anywhere. But the sales amount is going to go in your credit column. So in your credit column for sales, that's the big net, 845. It's hard enough to squeeze two numbers in these little boxes, and then you got to put 3 in there. 845, 828.09. Sales. Then on line 32, we've got purchases of 389,000. So just a couple lines down, 32. Purchases. So even though they're labeled differently, our sales, the money that's coming in, purchases, the money that's going out. So our purchases amount's going to go here in the debit side, debit column. $389, $184.01. So now we've got our four accounts filled in. So step 2 is to total, prove, and rule the trial balance. So I'm going to zoom this out a little bit. Now I'm going to save you some time. So what you're going to need to do when you do the on your own, taking both pages, you've got to add up both columns, continue down through both pages to the bottom, and both sides should be equal. Let's see. So we can add those up, because actually there's something else. Oh, we got our federal taxes on here. So add those up to save you some time. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that in for you, so you don't have to add them all up. I've got the number here. So that comes to $1,000,000. So 1109 in the first box. $585.86. I'll write this down at the bottom so it's easier to see. So when you add up both columns from both sheets, they both are going to equal, or they should equal the $1,109,585.86. So you can just go ahead and fill that in. As long as you filled in this other stuff in the right columns, that's what they're going to come out to be. So now go ahead and draw a line. all the way across. And then our kind of will make our double line here. Okay, so our total should come to that for our two columns. So that takes care of steps 1 and 2. Now we're going to do step 3, our physical inventory count items at the end of the year. We're going to fill these in and then do our adjustments. So we know the value of our supplies for the office on December 31st was $657.15. So we'll find we've got our supplies office line right here. So since that's these amounts are the end of the year, December 31st, and our balance sheet is for December 31st, we're going to write those as our final value for those items. So office, $657.15. So supplies office. Debit, because we start out as a debit, so we're still at a debit. $657.15. Move that over. And then we'll do store, supplies for the store. $633.11. So that's just the next line down. And then we've got our prepaid insurance, $800. So I believe that's on the second sheet. Oh, it's just the one down. I was looking at insurance expense. So our prepaid insurance value, $800. So here's where the adjustments part comes in. So we've got our supplies on our trial balance. So this was probably the value at the beginning of the year. And everything that we've used over the year, here's what we've got left, $657 worth. So we've got to take into account that money to get from here to here. So this is where we're going to use our adjustments column. So it started out as a debit, and we're still in the debit column. So what we've got to do is we've got to apply the credit to the debit to get it down. So we can take the $54.85.25 going to subtract the $657.15 from that. So we used $4,828 worth of a year. So that's what we're going to adjust off. So we're going to put the credit column, because the credit can be applied to the debit to bring the debit down. So in our credit column, $48.28 10 for the office. as it says here in the bottom line underneath our inventory count, we're going to label our adjustments A, B, and C, because we're going to do more later on. So this one is adjustment A. And we're just going to do the same thing with our supplies and prepaid insurance. Or supplies for the store, sorry, the store supplies. 45, 78, 36 minus 633.11. So that gets us $3,945.25 for store supplies. So that one's going to be labeled B. Then we've used up most of our insurance, so we've probably got a couple more months left of insurance coverage. 6,200 minus 800. That's 54 for our prepaid insurance adjustment. Okay, so we've got our adjustments in our credit column, but just like with our trial balance, debit and credit columns, we're going to have to balance these out. I forget what chapter that was in. Whenever you do the credit on the adjustments, we're going to have a debit. So I'm going to go to the other sheet. And here we've got our supplies expense for office, supplies expense for store, and our insurance expense. So that's the money that's going to go into our debit columns. So supplies, office, 482810. Supplies, office, $48,2810. Then our supplies for the store, $39,4525. And then our insurance expense, wherever it went, there's $5,400. Then we'll go ahead and label those just like on the A, B, and C. Okay. All right, so it looks like I got everything there in section 2. So not too bad. As long as you keep up everything will work out. So there's that one. So you can use the rest of the time to do that on your own. And I'll get the video up just in case you need that to go back to. But if you've got your example here, you should be able to do that on your own fairly easily.